This is a short notice opportunity for Andre Petroski, who was not just chilling on the couch like some of the other fighters do. He was actually getting ready to train for the ADCC Open Trials that were going to be taking place this weekend. So you got a heavy grappler who was preparing for a grappling contest, though he was in Thailand on vacation, versus a Michel Pereira, who, AJ, I don't know if you saw, this is 185 pounds, my friend. This is no longer cutting 1,000,000 pounds to get to 170. Probably a little more rejuvenated, a little more of a natural weight class. This is going to be new territory for both fighters who both have some cardio issues. What do you think about this one?
That's what I was going to point out, Derek. The cardio issues of both these fighters. That's what makes this one a little unstable for me going into this one, man. Because what happens? Let's say Michel Pereira stuffs 10 takedowns. Andre Petroski, gassed, breathing heavy, end of the second round. Or on the opposite coin, what if Michel Pereira goes back to what we used to see him love to do, spinning things, jumping around, throwing backflips and stuff? Then by the end of the second round, he's breathing hard. Who knows what's going to actually happen to those two once that happens? But I do think at the point in both of these fighters' career, Michel Pereira is the more composed fighter, at least at times. And I say that with an asterisk because this man still has that wild man style in him. But at least lately, in his last couple of fights, man, the Ponzinibbio, the Fialios, all of those fights, he's looked calmer. He's looked more composed, and that's what I like about him in this fight. But to your point, Derek, Petroski is a very, very dangerous grappler, and what's the one kryptonite to the Superman that is Michel Pereira? It's going to be that grappling, man. Getting sat down on the butt and then him trying to work things like that. It's going to sap all that energy. It makes me wonder, man, who do you think is going to have the better gas tank when this fight gets going, second, third round?
It's tough to say because it really depends on how the fight plays out. This concerns me because if this goes long, this is just going to be an ugly fight. It doesn't matter who you're rooting for. This will be a very ugly fight. And when things get really ugly, that's when mistakes are made. When the mistakes are made, you can no longer have a surefire thing that doesn't exist in MMA. So once again, you mentioned it, spinning stuff from Michel Pereira, a lot of heavy striking efforts. He can knock out Andre Petroski here. However, Andre Petroski, the difference between Pereira and Petroski is Petroski needs one takedown to finish everything. Pereira, he only needs one strike to finish everything, but you're probably going to have to put a little something on him. So how concerned are you that if Petroski can get that takedown, he has clearly proven himself to be a legitimate grappler, like a high-level grappler, like to the level where he's calling out Bo Nickel. I'm not going to say that he could beat Bo Nickel in a grappling match or an MMA fight, but the point is, he's proven it. It's not like he's an untested new UFC guy at this point. He's shown time and time again, you need a win, he'll give you the win. He even got that submission victory, the Anaconda choke against Nick Maximoff, who is one of the best grapplers, you would say, MMA grapplers in the sport right now. What do you think, AJ? One takedown, it's all he needs?
I think so, Derek. And that's what worries me about this fight right here is because one takedown is all he needs. Or for Michel Pereira, one uppercut, one knee, even just 2 or 3 stuffs on the takedown. Then we're working in a whole new field over here. Now we switched over from the rice to the grain. Michel Pereira is working nicely over there. And that's what worries me, but also makes me excited for this fight because so many different things can unfold. It's only going to be time that tells exactly how it goes down. But both of these fighters have very distinctive paths in which to stay to actually get that dub. Petroski, let's see, because what worries me, Derek, is not necessarily the untestedness of him, but the rather green he is to at least the UFC. Like you said, this guy's been preparing, he's been training, he's been fighting killers, man. GM3, Wellington Thurman, Nick Maximoff, all of those are great names. But for the longevity, or I guess lack of longevity that he's been in the sport, or at least the UFC, it does give me a little bit of pause for, a little hesitancy over here. Do you have the same hesitancy going into this fight, Derek?
I don't, and the reason why is because if you look through Michel Pereira's resume, it's very decorated, right? You don't see a ton of grapplers on there, though. You know what I mean? You see a lot of strikers on that resume. So it's going to be a new look for both guys. I am 100% selling out on the short notice grappler who probably will not have a lot of cardio, but if he can get the takedown, I want the grappler at plus money. AJ, he opened as a plus 115 dog. He is currently a plus 170 dog. Pereira is as much as a minus 205 favorite. Maybe the odds makers know something that we don't, but all it takes is one takedown, and I'm going to sell out for that one. So give me Andre Petroski, give me a TKO or a submission victory plus 700 or plus 600. You love it, but you could totally see a decision coming out of here if he can keep it together long enough. What do you think?
If he can keep it together long enough, I do like the decision for Petroski, Derek. But personally, me, man, I'm going Paeta, and I'm going with that knockout. We may need one, we may need two. But either way, if Petroski eats a knee or an uppercut, man, this might change the whole fight. We'll see how it actually ends up. I like Michel Pereira TKO.
Heard that.